Hello everybody, and welcome back to Alaris Labs YouTube channel. As you may know, the new version has been released, and we are going to list the most important features and changes. As not all the features and corrections will be discussed in this video, you are welcome to check the full list of changes in the release notes. Please know that you can turn on the subtitles for the video by clicking on the subtitles control in the YouTube panel instruments. Check out our Facebook and LinkedIn pages to learn more about our life and business. Support of the following masks has been added to the support code reference book for the destination number. The destination number field has been renamed to destination number mask. Possibility to select the import type has been added to the tags import interface. The following import type values are available. Merge default value reproduces the initial system behavior. New tags will be added after the file import. Existing tags will be handled based on the clause type value. Replace matching tags. Replace tag records existing in the system by those from the imported file. The clause type and clause date parameters are unavailable for this option. Example: suppose the following records exist in the system. The imported file contains the following records. After import, the following records will remain in the system. Delete matching records. Remove records whose tag name and codes match the records in the file. The clause type and clause date parameters are unavailable for this option. The tag validity period that includes the start date of the imported file is removed from the reference book. For example, if the Russia tag has two records and the record in the file has the following start date parameter, only the first record will be removed. Previously, support of country-based tags was added to the system. This function works in the new EDR import version, which is enabled by the system parameter EDR import version 1 old 2 u. The default parameter value has been set to 2, as the new import version is more efficient. Also, all further enhancement and bug fixing will be performed for the new EDR import version only. In case of excessive load on routing modules, the traffic will be sent to the buffer. Messages will be sent from the buffer as soon as the load decreases. The enhancement will allow preventing message losses during unexpected traffic peaks that the routing module cannot handle. The default buffer size is 200,000 messages. For more flexible configuration, contact the Alaris technical support team and communicate the following code. The new method for operation with simulation has been added for the Enterprise API submodule. It allows the system owner to work with internal system entities. The method is accessible to users with Enterprise API permission. Tasks created through the API are not shown in the web interface. To call voice simulation, the following parameters can be transmitted. To call SMS simulation, you should do the following. The response will contain a JSON array with routes found, where the array entry with number 0 is a client product. The new parameter replace effective dates violating agreement has been added to the parsing stage of rate import. When enabled, the start date from a file column is ignored if in violation of the parameter, appearing with the new option enabled. They are automatically populated with values from in, out, increase, decrease, new rate, close rate notification, days in carrier's agreements interface. The ignored date will be replaced by a correct date based on the effective increased date selected from the import. The routing metric values calculated based on the rules can now be cleared every hour. This behavior is controlled by the system parameter rule count stats clear policy. The system parameter send rate change notifications as blind copy 0, no, 1, yes has been renamed to send rate change notifications as 0 carbon copy 1, blind carbon copy 2, 2. Now it supports various notification modes for auto rate import and rate export. The system allows configuring automatic rate export. However, no auto rate export task was created if the product had a parent product whose rates has been modified. To change this behavior, the new system parameter send changes to child products if the parent products are changed has been added. Possible values are 0, do not send, and 1, send. When sending a campaign from file, it's now possible to calculate its estimated cost, as well as the following details: the amount of phone numbers by destination and duplicate numbers, as well as a report on unavailable rates. For translation rules of the sender ID and message text types, SMS, routing, translation rules, support of special functions has been added to replace the pattern with arbitrary symbols. Rand int x. Generate an integer with the length of x digits. If a non-numerical symbol is specified instead of x, the default value 7 is used. If a fractional number is specified, the number is rounded downward. Rand x, similar to the rand int function. Rand hex x. Generate an arbitrary hex string with a length of x symbols. The employed ranges of symbols are A to F and 0 to 9. It is more advisable to use it rather than rand text. Rand text x. Generate an arbitrary text string with a length of x symbols. The employed ranges of symbols are A to Z and 0 to 9. These functions can be used one after another. Also, they can be applied to replace the sender ID from the sender ID text list. Possibility has been added to send the following optional fields in the deliver SAM packet to the client: 0x2153. Response code taken from the error code field of the delivery report received from the vendor. 0x2167. Response code description. Description of the code received from the vendor. If no information is received, an empty field will be sent to the client. To enable sending the optional fields, enable the checkbox Use optional field for receipt, carriers, SMS channels, and select the fields. Additionally, the delivery code description has been added to the delivery extra information column of the EDR export tool. Support of long messages has been added for the text platforms Manual, TelQ, and iTest. Up to 1000 symbols can be entered in the message text field. A special concatenation flag will be transferred when sending a long message. The following columns can now be selected in the EDR fields to export parameter in SMS EDR management, EDR export tool interface, routing rule ID, delivery delay in seconds, vendor status code. The following new markers has been added to the balance credit alert letter. Billing manager's first name and last name, billing manager mobile phone, billing manager's cell phone number, billing manager office phone, billing manager's office phone number, billing manager email, billing manager's email address. The new parameter billing address has been added to the authorized.net settings of the reference book's contract company's interface. Possible values are true and false. If set to true, when a campaign portal user makes a payment through authorized.net, the payment form will contain the additional billing address fields. Previously, possibility to receive MO messages with an alphanumeric sender ID was added to the SMS switch. If pre-routing translation applied to such numbers that added numeric prefixes to them, the MCC rest of the world was selected. The behavior has been changed in this version. First, the system will search for an appropriate MCC MNC. After that, the MCC rest of the world will be used. Additionally, support of blank spaces in character sender ID values has been added. The MCC rest of the world will be used for such sender IDs. The carrier and account columns have been added to the numbers and history tabs of the DID management interface. The new permission export to CSV Excel from interfaces has been added to the system. When enabled, the export to Excel button is available in the interfaces. The new permission does not affect export of the E212 E164 reference book. It's allowed by the E212 E164 reference book export permission. The client product names column has been added to the SMS routing rules interface. It allows filtering rules by product name. The following new columns have been added to the View Sessions window of Carriers SMS Channels interface. Source IP, the IP address from which connection is established. Destination IP, the IP address with which connection is established. EDR export from SMS Analytics has been optimized. The auto-rate import module can now receive up to 4000 bytes in the to field when getting mail. Previously, the number of tasks displayed in the SMS EDR management EDR export tool interface was limited by 200 tasks. Now, the limit can be configured in the system parameter EDR export task store period days that controls the storage period for export tasks. The minimum value is 1, whereby tasks are stored for the current day and the previous day. The logic of product display has been enhanced for SMS routing simulation and voice routing simulation interfaces. In SMS routing simulation, if the traffic type is MT, client products with active POIs are displayed. If the traffic type is MO, banner products with active POIs are displayed. Additional verification has been added when editing an SMS pack. The pack end date must not be earlier than the current date if the pack has subscribers. Also, partners that are subscribed to the pack cannot be removed from the carrier's filter. The calculation logic of the payment status column of the system report Invoices finance has been corrected. Previously, the value for vendors was always not paid. Now it is taken directly from the invoice. Additionally, partially paid status has been replaced with X% paid, where X is calculated as a percentage of the invoice amount. Operation of EDR Expert SMS, EDR Management, EDR Expert tool has been optimized when regular expressions are used in the following fields: message ID pattern, sender ID mask, destination address mask. The new submodule Enterprise API has been added in version 3.5.21 to work with internal system methods. In this version, the method getProductList has been added to Enterprise API to product details. To configure the submodule, contact the Alaris technical support team and communicate the following code. The new report SMS analytical cube calculation queue administration has been added to the system to monitor the queue of SMS analytical cubes. Possibility to clone a recurring fee has been added to finance recurring fees. New rate shown in SMS rates rate compilation are now highlighted in TelQ. The parameters in-out maximum invoice billing periods of carriers' agreements have been moved. Now they follow the parameters in-out minimum invoice amount. Previously, a warning was added to reference books contract companies when no currencies were configured that were needed for authorized.net and mobile money. As ISO currency code is taken into account during the verification, the text of the warning message has been enhanced accordingly. If product rates were modified outside of rate notification periods set in the agreement, no rate expert task is performed. Previously, no notifications were created. Now, the following message is written to the system log. Auto rate expert triggered for the product ID, but there are no paid-in rate changes on no task created. The recipient field icon has been modified in the send message from Alaris campaign portal. Previously, the icon was red, which could be confusing. Filters by the agreement ID and change dates have been added to the system report agreement changelog administration. The following system reports have been added. Report changelog administration shows changes applied to reports. SMS translation rule changelog administration shows changes applied to SMS translation rules. Filters by the change date have been added for the system report SMS POI changelog administration. When changing the login without changing the password, the user could not log in to the system and the following error message was shown: invalid username or password. The logic has been enhanced. Now, when the user changes the login, the system will show the message about the need to change the password as well, as the old password becomes invalid for the calculation of the hash sum.